So, hey everybody, it's the Economancer again, and I'm here because I have some thoughts to share about the drama that's just happening on Reddit right now. Now, you may not be aware of it, it's blowing up in certain parts of the site, but if you're not a Reddit user, you might be completely unaware of it. But what you'll see are some headlines about Reddit CEO editing some comments on Reddit, and so I want to discuss those and put them in a little bit of context. In the current season of South Park, they are going after trolls, and the Danish in particular are going after trolls. And they've invented a program called Troll Trace, which ostensibly will give everybody in the world the ability to see everybody else's past internet history, every comment they've made, every email they've sent, everything, all of their online interactions. And the idea is they're going to use this to protect people from trolls, and they're going to make sure that no one ever gets trolled again. So the Troll Trace program is really analogous to things that we find in real life. One great example is Ken Bone. Ken Bone was the guy who answered some questions on, I don't even remember what fake news network. He actually did an AMA on Reddit using his real Reddit account, which included his past likes and comments on things like the kind of pornography that he was into. And by the way, this became mainstream news. I mean, CBS News, CNN, all of these major mainstream news sources ran this guy's internet history as news because that's how desperate they are for views. And that's what happens when you suddenly get burst into the spotlight and you have an internet history. A large group of people can very quickly sift through it and find things that are interesting or potentially compromising. I've talked a lot about how I think that free speech is critical because speech is thought in real time, that you may have an idea of what you're trying to say beforehand, but it's not until the words come out of your mouth that you're actually able to actualize your ideas. And when you do that, you do it as well as you can, which is incredibly imprecisely and colored by bias and colored by emotion and subject to all of the different cognitive limitations that you have in your best attempt to sort it out. And you put it out into the world with the hope that people will listen to it and provide you with useful critical feedback. I think that comments on message board posts and tweets, shorter forms of communication are especially akin to that. When you look at someone's Twitter, I mean, a lot of times they're just cranking something out the top of their head. They're not thinking about the long-term consequences. Another example is the girl who tweeted some sort of off-color joke about not getting AIDS in Africa because she was white. And by the time she landed, she had lost her job. So when South Park talks about troll trace, it's talking about a real life phenomenon that actually is out there, that if you happen to get elevated into the spotlight at the wrong time, you're guaranteed to get thrust into the spotlight and have all of your darkest secrets aired. That's part of the reason I make so many videos and gaming videos. I'm sort of like, hey, why don't you go through the hundreds of hours of Rocket League that I've played and find every off-color thing that I've said? Good luck with that. This applies to you. This applies to you if you've ever used Facebook or Reddit, Twitter, WhatsApp, Kick, Hangouts, if you've ever left comments on YouTube, there's some sort of record of it out there. And you may have gone and deleted those accounts, but it doesn't matter. Everything that gets posted on Reddit gets archived almost immediately on multiple archiving sites. So why is this relevant in the context of today? Well, it's relevant because what happened today is that the CEO of Reddit, username is Spez, S-P-E-Z. And what he did is that there was a post that was linked on the Washington Post. And in the response thread, the top comments were, fuck Spez. Fuck you slash Spez. He changed the name to the moderators of the Donald subreddit in those top comments. So he, the guy, the chief executive officer of this corporation that's run by a for-profit media corporation that owes a lot of duty to its stockholders, the CEO himself went into Reddit, did a little search interplace, and went, oh, wherever people are saying this, I'm going to make them say it about people that I don't like. But then some chat transcripts got leaked that showed that he had actually been working with other moderators to try to figure out how they could ban the Donald, and that we all know that they went out of their way to modify the algorithm to keep the Donald off the front page. If Reddit is able to go back and edit people's comments, right, then first of all, you can't trust the history anymore. You can't trust the post. You can't know for sure if it's really true what the person has said. You don't know if some other rogue employee at Reddit has gone back and gone through and modified other comments to try to make people look bad. In the United Kingdom, somebody was actually brought to court and paid a fine because of a a comment that they posted on Reddit. I don't know what the comment was. I don't know if it was defensible. I don't think you should ever be fined for making a comment on a message board. And I'm so glad we don't live in a society where that can happen. And I'm so glad that we're veering away from it. Back when we were talking about the Hillary Clinton server months and months ago, There were Reddit posts that were dug up that showed that Hillary Clinton's tech had actually asked around on Reddit to find ways that they could go in and edit the emails in Microsoft Exchange to make them seem like they had come from different people. But now if those comments can go back and be edited or removed, or if admins can just go about willy-nilly and change things based on their political leanings, how can we trust Reddit as a source anymore? Finally, it's a huge concern for Reddit because they may have lost their safe harbor provisions. There were two cases. One was about Prodigy and one was about CompuServe. So it basically came around to if you are going to moderate your forum, and moderate the content that people post to it, then you are responsible for it. And if people post libelous things and things that are illegal, then you're responsible for it. And Reddit may have crossed this line by going in and editing user posts, which they're not supposed to do. It's not even supposed to be possible. When you think about the troll trades program, and you think about the fact that somebody could get elevated to the limelight and their life could get ruined by their internet history, and then you think that on one of the major websites of the internet, their chief executive officer will just go in for fun and edit people's comments. What's to stop that from happening to you when you rise to prominence and somebody goes back in and edits your comments to make it seem like you said something worse than you said, or to put hateful words in your mouth, and all of a sudden you're fighting off allegations and your career is ruined and your reputation is ruined and you can't defend yourself against it? You've just got way, way too much power in the hands of just a few people. Now, Twitter, Facebook, and Reddit. There are new sites coming out. There's Vote, there's Minds, there's Gab.ai. I haven't picked one in particular. I've checked them out. They look kind of cool. But I do think that we have to move away from these platforms because the control that they're exerting over us and trying to exert, it's clear that Facebook is going after pro-Donald Trump stuff. Right? They're not worried about fake news all across the board. They're focused on what their moderators' political views are. And when you look at Twitter and they're verifying the account of the Muslim Brotherhood and doing nothing about these sort of extremely hateful anti-Semitic comments and violent violent encouragement to do terrible things. They don't do anything about that, but then they ban Milo Yiannopoulos. You know that you're dealing with people who are ideologues. They're not doing this for reasons that are valid, and I don't know that they can be trusted. So those are my thoughts. That's why I wanted to let you know about the Reddit thing, and I will see y'all later.
Míralos.